think I found the best toiletry kit on Amazon. What's going on, everybody? This is Lamar, MFN Research, and I think today I have found the best toiletry kit on Amazon, and it's this guy. The ROLR 3-in-1 toiletry bag by Taskin. Just got through using it on my trip to Florida, and I thought I'd share what I thought about it. I've had it for about a year. I've used it on road trips, a couple flights, so I think I've got a pretty good understanding on what I think about it. But before we begin, I am gonna come clean. While I did find it on Amazon, I did not buy it from Amazon. I got it from their website directly, and we'll talk about why a little later on. So there's others. If you're looking on Amazon, there's tons of toiletry bags or DOP kits, whatever you want to call them, that open flat or have a trifold design. But this one I think is unique because it's truly modular. And we're going to talk about that a little bit today, and we're going to show you what I think about it. What's cool about it is it's got 3 sections. You can use all 3 sections if you want, one section, or like I usually use it in 2 sections. And if you really got a lot of stuff, you can buy a second kit, combine them together, and have a massive toiletry bag. So now let's talk about it a little bit. Each of the 3 pods, as they call them, have different organizational setups, and they meet different needs. And we're going to talk about each one. They're about 8 inches by 11 inches, and they're all closed with G-hooks. They're made out of a ballistic nylon. They've got YKK zippers. They're extremely beefy on the materials, and I love the thing. So one of the things that's kind of cool about it is it's pretty big, but it gives a nice flat footprint, so you can fit it in your bag pretty easily. Didn't have any problems on my trip fitting it in my bag. So now let's talk about pod 1. Pod 1 is what they consider the main section. It's a clear PVC mesh, and this is where you're gonna put the bulk of your main toiletry items, your deodorant, stuff like that. One thing that I wish it had was a couple strips of Velcro on it, so maybe you could pop that clear section in and out, because I don't know if it's gonna meet those 311 requirements for TSA. I haven't had any problems with it, but I've only taken it as a carry-on once. This most recent trip I checked it, so wasn't really a concern, but that's something to consider. Not a deal breaker, but it's just something to keep in mind as we're going through this thing. So now in pod 2, it's that same PVC mesh. They're long compartments that are the width of the bag, and this is where you're gonna hold like your toothbrushes. This is where I put my razor, some of those long items that you're gonna need that just don't fit in that main pod 1. I think it's perfect. So for me, honestly, what I do is I use pod 1 and pod 2 most of the time, put those together, and I'll show you that in a little bit. One thing I wish there was a little bit of gusseting on these pockets, just to make them, when you're not using them, they fold a little flat. I think that will make it store better in your use in daily travel. That way, if you don't really need it, it compresses a little flat, and if you need to add stuff to it on your trip, you can expand it out as you need to. Shouldn't be too difficult of a change, but I think it'd be something that'd be beneficial. Pod 3 is pretty awesome, but I have to admit, I don't use it that much. I actually have used it a few times for my cables and stuff like that, and I think I actually just figured out an idea for it in the future. I think I'm gonna start using it to hold all my hand sanitizing wipes and stuff like that and throw it in my backpack. I will say pod 3 is still cool. It's just not something I need all the time. It's basically just like pod 1. Instead of having that PVC mesh, it's all ballistic nylon. They market it as that spot to put all your TMI type things that you don't want everybody to see, and it does seal it up pretty good. Or you can even use it like I used it for cables and dongles and stuff like that, and different things that aren't necessarily toiletry based, and kind of dual purpose it. So usually the trips that I've taken it on have been anywhere from like a weekend to about a week or 2. And the 2 pods work just fine for me. I think if I was going anything longer than that, I may add the 3rd pod and then toiletry roll, but for the most part, pod 1 and 2 just do great for me. One thing I didn't talk about is on the outside, they have a section of 4 suction cups that you can use to mount to a mirror. It attaches to the bag with a magnet that's also a hook there. So you can either use a suction cup and put it on your mirror, or you can use it and say hanging up on the shower curtain or something like that. I had the suction cups on the window all weekend and it never fell. I had to snatch them off. I felt like I was almost gonna take the mirror off with me, but it holds perfectly. It keeps it up off of the small sink in the hotel, and it works out perfectly. So the reason why I bought it on the website is at the time they were running a discount for new buyers, and they were throwing in a free gift. I wanted the duffel bag, but at the time they didn't have any more of their duffel bags. They actually gave me a free backpack. I'm not gonna really talk about the backpack. I'm just gonna show it to you. I really don't like it that much because it's kind of too small for me to be a daily carry bag and it's too big to kind of be that minimal sling type bag. So it kind of fits in that weird gray area and I don't really use it. But I still have it. It looks like it's decent build. It's not really something I use too often. I have used it a couple times to take the kids to the park, but that's really it. I would check their website though, because the promotions do change pretty regularly and there might be something on there a little better. So right now the price is $32.71 on Amazon and $31.71 on their site. I think what I would do is if I were looking for it right away, I would get it on Amazon and pay that extra $1. But if the promotions were good enough, I'd go ahead and get it on their website. Shipping was pretty fast. I think it was less than a week. So that's not too bad. All right, so now I'm gonna take your top down and show you how I loaded it out. All right, here's the Roller 3-in-1 by Taskin. Exactly how I loaded it out. I just pulled it straight out my suitcase. So we're just gonna go through how I packed it out for my trip. I will show you, this is the Pod 3 right here. That's all the ballistic nylon. You can take a look at those beefy zippers, the awesome little zipper pulls. They've even got the ring zipper pulls. I don't see YKK on the zippers, but it says that they're YKK and I haven't had any problems with them. They seem to work pretty good, so no complaints there. And then that's just what it looks like on either side. These are the sections where the G-hooks clip in, and they're the same on each side on the back. So we'll just move that over there. And now let's turn it the right way. So this is what the bag looks like, usually how I pack it. So this is the little pull tab, and that's where the suction cups hold. And then that's the hook for it. That's the magnet that connects, that just goes in there. And flipping it back over, you see the G-hooks right there. And that's how it's sealed together. One of the things that I will say is a drawback, or potentially a drawback, if something leaks in here and it gets out because either there's a puncture in the bag or it's not zipped up all the way, because it's not sealed, you run the risk of it getting out in your bag. So just be careful and keep that in mind. Like I said, I've had it for a year and I haven't had any of those problems, but it's something to be mindful of. So now let's just open it up. So like I said, I just took this with me on my trip. It's messy. It was a 6 o'clock flight, so I just threw everything in there in the morning. So we're just gonna go through it. So we'll start with Pod 1. Got some lotion that I put in there. My brush. This is a beard brush that I use. It expands, but I broke it just so it fits in here a little better. This is a little scrubber that I use. This is a pick for my hair on my beard. Little creams that I use, lotion, skin creams, body creams, things like that, little gels, things. They all fit in there pretty good. Little pain patches that I use in case I have a flare up from all the traveling or sitting in an airport or something like that. My little travel bottle, Listerine, different pills, medicines, vitamins, things like that. They all go in there. Another brush for my mustache. Toothpaste. And as you see, everything fits in there really good. And this is what I was talking about I wish it folded down a little smaller, but no big deal. I'll show it to you when it's empty and closed. And then last here, I have the longer items in here. Just my travel toothbrush, a razor, shave my head, a tongue scraper, hair scissors, and a couple vitamins that didn't make it into my vitamin kit. And then this is what it looks like empty, folds down flat. Take a look at that, take a look at that, take a look at that. Connect them, zip it up. You've got a different configuration. I've got the Pod 3 and I've got Pod 1. It'll work just fine. I'll do one more switch just for old time's sake. And it's still not that bad. What we'll do is we'll take out Pod 1 altogether and we'll see if we can put Pod 2 and 3 together. So putting Pod 2 and 3 together. Let's move this stuff. So looking on Amazon, I did see a couple complaints that there was issues with the modularity, but I just did this real time live. I didn't have any problems. It all connects easily, so definitely worth it to me. And now, like I was saying with Pod 1, TSA may give you a hard time about this section because it's not truly clear. If this were a little more clear and just came right off, that'd be perfect. You can just stick it back on and move on your day. So now let's talk about the pros and the cons. So pros, it's modular. I love the look. I like it's beefy, gives it that rugged appearance. It's versatile. Like I said, you can use it for toiletries. I use it for some of my cables and my dongles. I'm going to use it for some of my hand sanitizing kits. And they've got 100% money back guarantee on the website. I don't need it because I'm going to keep it and I've been happy with it, so that's fine. I don't even think I've seen so much as a stitch out of place. So for the price, it's an unknown company really, but it's a great brand to me. Some of the cons, like I said, might not be watertight if you have a spill inside. TSA might give you some trouble if you're coming through this as a check bag. I've seen some of the reviews that say some of the sections aren't compatible with others, but that might have been user error because you see, I didn't have any problems just now, and it's all repeats of the same thing. The only thing I think I might see is if you try to connect two kits and have a pod 1 and a pod 1, that's the only reason why I'd see they won't be compatible or something like that. But other than that, I think it'd be perfect. Another con is it might be bulky for that minimal traveler who's trying to use all 3 pods. But if you really just use pod 1 or pod 2 or pod 3, I think you can shove this pretty much anywhere. It fits in my air travel pack too, no problem. So I love the ROLR 3-in-1 by Taskin. Thanks for checking out the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Check out these videos right here for some other EDC items that I've got. Let me know in the comments anything you'd like to see me recommend. Any questions you've got about the toiletry bag, just let me know. I'll be in the comments to try to answer those for you and help you out if I can. With that, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, MF and Research out.